Greetings dear friends, old and new, Dragon here once again. If it is your first time stumbling onto my little channel, then do please, as I always say, consider clicking that red button. It would be greatly appreciated. Okay, 2021 is now increasingly in our rear view mirror. February's rapidly approaching. Where has this first month gone? And it is time to do a little summary of the best releases, in my very humble opinion, from 2021. Most of these are all Hong Kong and East Asian cinema releases, because that's predominantly all I buy. This is entirely my own opinion. I'm sure loads of you will have a different list. This is kind of a top 10, but there are a few honourable mentions, and we'll get into those first. Do please let me know in the comments underneath which ones were your favourites from last year, but this is what I got, so let's jump into it. So first off, honourable mention, this was the two Rurouni Kenshin box sets out of Japan of the last parts 4 and 5, the last two movies in the Rurouni Kenshin live action adaptations. Absolutely fantastic movies, beautiful box sets. Unboxings for both of these up on my channel. Unfortunately, both are not English friendly, so no English subtitles on the sets. Really, I've got these to kind of future proof myself if we do end up eventually finally getting a Blu-ray release of these two movies, because at the moment they are owned by Netflix, or the distribution rights are owned by Netflix, so it might be a little while before we see these coming out on disc unless you go down the bootleg route. But these glorious box sets out of Japan were too good to pass up on. These are actually the DVD ones, because there is no difference in size between the DVD and the Blu-ray sets, but the DVD one's a bit cheaper. Both came from Amazon Japan. Really awesome movies. A wonderful series of films. You can watch, I think, all 5 on Netflix just now if you have Netflix, but if you want to track down the physical media, there's steelbooks for the first 3, and then these glorious little box sets for the last 2. So, sticking with not English-friendly versions of awesome movies, next up, 2 incredible releases from Spectrum Films in France, 4 fantastic Shaw Brothers movies over 2 releases. Both of these are doubles. We get Tony Liu's Bastard Swordsman and Return of the Bastard Swordsman, and Holy Flame of the Martial World and Demon of the Loot. 2 bonkers movies here. 2 bonkers movies here. Look absolutely fantastic. Quality of the transfers is incredible. And like I say, unfortunately, no English subs. But we watch these in Chinese, and my wife keeps me right in the bits that I can't quite follow myself. But really not massively dialogue heavy movies, very action heavy, both fantastic. Hopefully with a bit of luck we'll eventually see these coming out in a more English friendly version, but really like the cover art, really like the fact that they've managed to squeeze 2 films into each set, and it makes some pretty good value for money. Glorious releases from a company that I really like. I know an awful lot of people can't get behind the fact that they don't have English subs. Doesn't really bother me. We watch pretty much everything in Chinese, and there are ways to work around the subtitle thing. But yeah, that was my last non-English friendly honourable mention. Jumping on to a couple of others. I have to mention Criterion's Once Upon a Time in China box set, which I have yet to get into. I suspect if I had had this a little bit earlier and had gone through it already, it might well have made it into my top 10, but as it stands, I have yet to put a single disc into the drive. Just been too busy. But really nice to see Criterion doing kind of more classic HK movies, and this is a beautiful presentation, wonderful box set. There's a full unboxing of this up on the channel if you want to see inside. Jumping on to our next one, and we get a great little media book from the Vengeance Pack in Germany. This is kind of Shaw Brothers adjacent, so very similar to some of the Shaw Brothers movies from that era. Much lower production values though, because it's an independent production. Starring Chi Quan-chun though, so it makes it a very nice companion movie to some of the other releases that we will mention in the top 10. But glorious cover art by Kung Fu Bob, which is my main reason for tracking it down. Cover art in this case probably a little bit better than the movie, which is a little bit rough around the edges, and some of the action's fantastic, but there's maybe not quite enough of it. But I really like the film and really dig on the media book. It's English friendly, so you get an English language option. There's no Chinese audio in here, but if you can track it down, it's a glorious set. Really nice production, really nice book inside. Wonderful stuff. Then we get 88 films, probably my least favourite of the deluxe editions of theirs that I picked up last year. We're not counting Erotic Ghost Story, but still one that I absolutely adore, and a glorious release. So Ricky, or the Story of Ricky, a completely insane live action adaptation of the anime. Really pretty unique for super over-the-top cartoon violence. To me, it really does feel like a live-action Fist of the North Star movie should feel. There is one starring Gary Daniels. It's nowhere near as good as this, even though this is not a Fist of the North Star movie. But yeah, great, beautiful box set, loaded with extra features. This is one that I did have an unboxing and a review up for. Lost it when the old channel got killed. If you want to see another one, let me know and I'll do another one. And then 2 Eureka releases to round up our honourable mentions. Both incredible movies, both incredible discs, both incredible releases. cover art that I fucking hate. I'm sorry. I know an awful lot of you really do like Darren Whelan's work. I don't. It's a stumbling block for me. I know cover art's not that important. It's what's on the disc that's most important. But I'm a big sucker for a really nice, really well produced, decent bit of cover art. And then these two kind of fell short for me. I'm not a fan at all. Fortunately though, we do get the option of just having our original poster art on this one, and we randomly got a scannable case for One Arm Boxer. It's the only time that Eureka have done this. I wish they would do it for more, and I wish they would give us the original poster art on all the releases, because I prefer massively just going with the original posters. But yeah, two fantastic films. Norman Sue, who we saw in the other honourable mentions from Spectrum Films, but absolutely bonkers, classic 80s or early 80s, kind of over-the-top wire-fu wuxia. Great. And One Arm Boxer, maybe not quite as good as the other Jimmy Wang Yu movie that's going to make it into the top 10, but still really good, really inventive, really good fun, and probably more comedy value in the One Arm Boxer than there is in the other Wang Yu movie that I will cover. But that's my last honourable mentions. These were the ones that almost made the list but didn't quite. So let us get onto the list proper. Number 10. From Cine Asia, The Swordsman, from Korea. Really kind of one of the best sort of modern martial arts movies that I've seen for a while. Pretty awesome action, pretty stunning swordplay all round. Great to see Joe Taslim, who you recognise from the Raid movie, here as our really pretty memorable villain, and a fantastic hero that we get in the form of Jang Hyuk, back after, for me, a long absence since I saw him many years ago in Volcano High. This release from Cine Asia, pretty nice. A few extra features on there, they're pretty short, but it's just, the film looks stunning. A really enjoyable one that I hadn't seen before getting the disc. It was a blind buy for me, and thoroughly glad that I picked it up. Fantastic. You can still track this one down through Amazon. I think it's probably the cheapest place to get it. I did also track down a German media book, which I have yet to crack into, so let's do that just now and take a little look what's inside. This is not an English friendly, but it was very cheap. I kind of managed to pick this up on a bit of a deal. So my plan is just to pop in the Cine Asia disc into this German media book, just like the slightly more plain and simple, also double, so you get the Blu-ray and you get the DVD, but like I say, not English friendly, but we do get this nice booklet, which is very easy to translate using Google Translate. A pretty nice edition, and I think this was about 10 or 11 quid or anything. You'll pay the same for the Cine Asia, but yeah, for somebody who's a bit of a sucker for packaging, The Swordsman is number 10. Number 9 is 88 Films' release of Disciples of Shaolin, the Chang Cheh Shaw Brothers classic, starring Fu Sheng and Che Quan Chun. So like I say, this is the first of the Che Quan Chun regular features to this top 10. He's had a pretty busy year in 2021 in terms of showing up on a lot of the films that I really enjoyed. This release, fantastic. Extra features are great. Glorious cover art by Kung Fu Bob. Just loved seeing 88 Films return to Shaw Brothers again. It feels like it's been quite a long time, and really happy that they kept their numbering spine thing going. It's really good to see, and I think of the two that we got at the tail of last year, this was slightly less of a memorable movie to me than the other one that we'll get to in a little minute, but still really good fun. Part of Chang Cheh's Shaolin cycle, and the last time that Lau Kar-long and Chang Cheh would collaborate on a full movie together. You could argue that they started off on Marco Polo, a couple other productions that were going at the same time, but Lau Kar-long's not credited on them. This is the last time that he has a full credit as the fight choreographer, the martial arts choreographer on the movie. Fantastic, really good, and like I say, glorious Kung Fu Bob O'Brien cover art. Beautiful. So, number 8, jumping over to Arrow for Yokai Monsters, the collection of 4 movies, over 2 nice discs, beautiful artwork, really nice, tasty little book that comes with it. These movies are great fun. I think not really remotely scary. Monsters are all pretty cute, quite endearing in their own little way, and I really like the wraparound art of the set. Maybe it would have been nice if we saw this in more of a form of the Digimon box set, which we'll get to in a little minute. But yeah, great films, a great box set, just really nice to kind of see them putting out. If you've not seen the films and you are familiar with the Daimajin box set, you'll certainly enjoy it. A lot of the same crew worked on the 2 series of films, and they're fantastic, just really good. Loads of extra features on here, and yeah, wonderful set. Arrow crushed it last year. Number 7, Millionaire's Express. Back to Eureka, back with another cover art that I'm not a fan of, but the movie I absolutely am, and it's the best version I think we could have ever imagined for what is arguably one of Sammo Hung's probably best 2 or best 3 movies. Certainly his kind of best action comedy. Absolutely incredible cast, giant cast, and yeah, everybody on fine form, and the set itself pretty incredible. The Brandon Bentley cut, which kind of puts in a whole bunch of deleted scenes, is now my definitive version to watch. Really, really, really good. Extra features, like I say, are fantastic. Wonderful, wonderful commentaries from Eureka this year from Frank Zheng, who always absolutely crushes it. But yeah, fantastic. Highly recommended. Number 6, 88 Films Young Master Deluxe Edition. This is really the first deluxe edition that they put out as far as the Asia collection goes, and what a release it was. Nice wraparound art, which I wish they would kind of go back to as one of the sort of seminal early Jackie Chan directorial features. Really, really good choreography, pretty good story. Nice to see Wei Pai moonlighting across from Shaw Brothers. Nice to see Yun Biao. Nice to see Lily Lee. Great cast, great action sequences, great movie, great set. You can't track down the deluxe version. There is a re-release version, just in a normal case, that doesn't have the book and the extra goodies. But if you can still track down one of the deluxe versions, it is glorious. Really, really liking these full slip deluxes that 88 are doing. I think they're probably my favourite deluxe editions that we're seeing originating in the UK. I would put them right up there with some of the Kimchi DVD or some of the Nova Media releases. In some cases, I actually think it's maybe slightly better produced than a couple of the Nova Media specials. And that incredible artwork by Kung Fu Bob, again, he has crushed it last year. 2021 for me was the year of Bob just continually outdoing himself with each and every release. This one came quite early on in the year, but yeah, glorious, glorious set. Number 5, mentioned it when I was speaking about Yokai Monsters, but the Daimajin box set. Much prefer this form over the Yokai Monster style. I like this little slip off top. It's a very slick little box. Some wonderful extras in it. Maybe one of the nicest looking books that they've produced. Really nice art all the way through it, loaded with information about these films. And if you haven't seen the movies, there's kind of less monster movies and more sort of period set samurai movies that just also happen to feature a giant, vengeful, enormous statue coming to life and then kind of going after our villains in the film. But that usually doesn't happen until the last 5 minutes of the movie in some cases. So really just get them for the fact that they're beautifully, stunningly made kind of period set samurai films with pretty great special effects all around. They look great. Extra features on here are also fantastic. It's a wonderful set. Not my favourite Arrow release of the year, we'll get to that, but yeah, glorious cover art, glorious presentation, glorious box. Number 4, 88 Films other Shaw Brothers release, The Chinese Boxer, starring Jimmy Wang Yu. I think between this and the One-Arm Boxer, this is the one that I would go to first. I think it's a slicker, better put together movie. Very, very influential for kind of what it would inspire. A wonderful, wonderful movie from 1970. Extra features on here are incredible. A great commentary by Sam Dayan, which I would highly recommend you going through. Really enjoy her Shaw Brothers commentary. She does her homework. Once again, Kung Fu Bob killing it on cover art duties, Lo Lei crushing it on villain duties, and Wang Yu crushing it on directing and writing duties. Very heavily inspired by Japanese cinema. Wonderful, wonderful film. There's a full review of this up on the channel. Check it out if you're not familiar with the film. Jump into number 3. This very nearly made it to number 2. It came out tail end of last year. This is the Armor of God Deluxe Edition. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stuff from 88 Films. Wonderful, incredible artwork from Kung Fu Bob again. Glorious extra features. Nice to see both versions of the film on here. These deluxe versions are fantastic. I think priced well. They're reasonable for the set that they're putting together. I'm a bit less into some of the stuff they've been doing on the Cat 3 side of things, but as far as their Jackie releases in deluxe format, incredible. And this has one of my favourite extra features of all the year, the Jackie Chan episode of the Hong Kong TV show Celebrity Talk Show, which I would highly recommend you checking out. It's about an hour long, really, really good. Rare to see Jackie speaking so candidly and so relaxed, really. A lot of time when he's doing interviews in English, you can tell he's pretty uncomfortable. This is him just speaking in his native tongue and having a great time with the hosts. That include the wonderful Ni Kwang, the writer for Shaw Brothers, and so many other movies. Yeah, great. Probably my favourite extra feature actually of the year is that episode of Celebrity Talk Show. Great, great stuff. Again, beautiful Kung Fu Bob Brown cover art. Number 3. Number 2, sticking with 88 Films, sticking with Jackie, Snake and Eagle Shadow. So not the most loaded release, but really one of my absolute favourite Jackie Chan movies. Prefer it slightly over the original Drunken Master. I think it's a little bit more charming, and I think the soundtrack's a bit more funky. I know some people hate the Star Wars pools, the James Bond pools. I really like it. It's very nostalgic for me. Reminds me of when I first saw this movie when I was a young kid. But great, great stuff. So wonderful extra features on here. Really, really good commentary by Kung Fu Bob, along with John Kreng. And we also get Mike Leader and Arnav Enema on there too, doing their great join us down the pub for a great chat about the film type commentary, which is really, really enjoyable as well. Love their commentary tracks. Great extra features on here, wonderful book inside there. There's an interview with Roy Horan, who sadly passed away last year. But yeah, all in all, great, really, really great. One that I didn't expect to look so good. This is maybe one of the best 88 Films transfers that we've seen so far, or it might just be because I'm so used to seeing the film in such shitty quality that this was really a revelation for me. Looks absolutely incredible. Great, yeah. They only have this available for 2021, so track this down while you still can. I suspect the ones that are out there, either on 88's website or if you can find them in store, will be the last few copies out there. Once these they are gone. They only have the rights for a year. So, bringing us to number one, and absolutely no surprise to anyone at all who knows me, Arrow's Shawscope Volume 1 box set. Easily my favourite release of 2021. Easily my favourite release by Arrow of all time. I'm massively biased, of course, because I adore Shaw Brothers movies, but I think really Arrow did an incredible job. Could it be better? Yes. I would have loved to see a commentary track on absolutely every film. I know some people are pissed by the box size and shape. I'm not at all. I really actually like the format. I would have maybe preferred if we had a slightly different presentation in terms of, I think there could have been a way to try and include some of the original poster art on the pages alongside the movies, and maybe kind of have their custom art in the little information book. I don't know, but it's just little niggles really. But the main one for me is there should have been a commentary track on every single film. The extra features we do get though, especially the ones from Frederic and Brzezin, are first rate. Some wonderful interviews with some of the Shaw stars that are in this, and really they picked 12 pretty fantastic movies to start out, with exception maybe arguably of Mighty Peking Man, which I know an awful lot of people were bummed was on there. I was fine with it. The extra features more than made up for the fact that I was double dipping because I have the 88 Films release of that, but the other 11 movies that were on there I didn't have on Blu-ray. Most instances I had on DVD. In some instances I've kept the DVDs, but a lot of them I'm selling on. Very much looking forward to Volume 2, and we'll get into the rumours and what's going to be on Volume 2 in a future vid coming pretty soon. More and more information comes out about that as we move further and further through the year. The biggest bit of news certainly is the fact that originally it had been slated for release in winter, and Volume 2 is now going to be coming in June or July, I believe. So yeah, absolutely incredible. If it was a set that you got, let me know how you've been finding it. This is one that I was really very happy to get review copies for, so I've been working through this since about end of September, beginning of October, and then just kind of actually got the official box set at the tail end of December when it was properly released. But yeah, glorious. I hope they keep these going. I hope we're definitely getting a Volume 2. I really hope we get a Volume 3. But I think for me, the fact that it's got Dirty Ho and Heroes of the East made this an essential purchase. The fact we get 5 Venoms and Crippled Avengers on there too means that there's 4 of my favourite Shaw Brothers movies on one set, and it's rounded out by some really incredible other Chang-Chi and Lau Gar-Lung movies. Yeah, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'm fine with the cover art. I like the sketches. It reminds me a little bit of the Bruce Lee Criterion set with their sketches in the background, but really overall a much more definitive box set, really. Fantastic. Yeah, for me, hands down the best release of the year. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know underneath in the comments what your own favourites of the year were. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff that you guys have adored that I've not mentioned here. Let me know which ones you really enjoyed checking out, which ones you think I should probably take a look at too. Thank you very much for watching. Join me back again very, very soon for our upcoming titles. I haven't done one of those for a little while, and it's taken a while to put together because there's so goddamn much coming in 2022. It's going to be a very expensive, very, very busy, very hectic year for releases. At least one Hong Kong release coming every single month for 2022 by the looks of it. And I say at least one, I think it's going to be a lot more than that. And it might well be the year of Yuen Biao. So we're going to get some pretty incredible movies that I think a lot of us have been itching to see coming out on Blu-ray, finally seeing the light of day. But thank you very, very much for joining me. I will see you on the next one. Take care.